You ever just wanted to get even with someone who made your life a living hell? Not in some big dramatic way, but with that perfect little act of sabotage that leaves them fuming while you walk away completely clean? This is the story of how a double cheeseburger became my ultimate tool for petty revenge against the most awful boss I've ever had. I used to work at McDonald's, and let me tell you, it wasn't the grease or the late nights that were the worst part. It was Linda. Linda was our shift leader, and she was a force of nature, a hurricane of pure rage. She was the type of person who'd yell and scream over the smallest mistakes, watching your every move like a hawk. If a single fry was out of place, she'd be on your case. Nothing you did was ever good enough, and she made sure everyone knew it. My daily goal wasn't to get through my shift. It was to survive Linda's wrath without getting chewed out. But there's always a moment when you just hit your limit. One day, I was working with my best friend and we were talking, minding our own business. Linda came over and my friend said something to her about a customer. Linda didn't just respond though. She repeated what my friend said, but in a slow, mocking, childish tone. That was it. That moment of pure disrespect, that ugly, condescending laughter. It was the final straw. I was done. Something had to be done. The universe, it seems, has a sense of humor. A few minutes later, I was in the kitchen and I saw her. Linda had accidentally made an extra double cheeseburger. No pickles, just for her. We weren't allowed to make our break food ahead of time, but she was trying to play it off with a general sticker that didn't say what the alteration was. It just sat there, tempting me. The cheese was getting cold, the bun was losing its softness, and I felt a little devilish grin spread across my face. I knew exactly what I was going to do. I looked at my work bestie with a knowing smile. I said, a little too loudly. This double cheeseburger has been sitting here for a while. I don't even know what that sticker is for. My friend caught on immediately. She nodded slightly, a silent co-conspirator. I don't know, I continued. You think we should just toss it? To keep things fresh? I didn't wait for an answer. My hand shot out, grabbed the burger, and without a second thought, I tossed it right into the trash. It was the most satisfying thing I had done all week. The screams came just a few minutes later. Who threw away the double cheeseburger? Linda's voice was a guttural mix of shock and pure fury. Everyone in the kitchen froze, but I stepped up calmly. That was me, I said. It had been sitting there for too long, and I had no idea what the sticker was for. My voice was completely flat, completely innocent. I was an angel of policy. I had done my job perfectly. Linda stared at me, her face red, searching for some loophole, some rule I had broken. But there was nothing. I had followed the protocol perfectly. She couldn't punish me. She just stood there, speechless, before turning away to make herself a new burger. It was a beautiful moment. It wasn't about the burger. It was about the look on her face, the way she knew exactly what I had done and was powerless to stop it. That small victory, that tiny act of rebellion, was sweeter than any dessert we had on the menu. To this day, the memory of her enraged face over a $2 burger gives me a little rush of joy. Sometimes the most satisfying revenge is also the most perfectly petty.